And we're back with the second game in the best of three series in the group stage of the Coronation Cup 2 between Gummibärgrün and der Vasall. And I was a little bit shocked by the civilizations. We have Incas and Aztecs. That's hilarious. I would not have expected two Meso civilizations for those players. And the map is mega random, and this map offers a really wide variety of different generations. Now, this one looks a little bit tame to me. There is this big weird wood line in this volcano structure in the center. But other than that, it's just a pure land map. Players actually did start with a stable, and so that is actually hilarious because since the definitive edition, or since the latest update, I don't remember, there are actually Xolotl warriors that can be trained in the stable, and I don't know if the players know this. And Xolotl warriors are basically have the same stats as knights. So they're actually quite good. So what would be hilarious if one of the players would go for some kind of fast castle into Xolotl warriors on this map. I would have really loved to see that. Other than that, we have a lot of cows, as it seems. Yeah, and the cows actually have 150 food, so they're a little bit better than sheep that you have on normal maps. However, there seems to be only one boar per player. So we see one boar over here for Gummibär, and then I don't really see a second boar. And that's just something that's typical to Mega Random. You never know with how many resources you are going to start. There's this boar here for Vasall, and also he has some deer and some berries. So I would say not the most interesting map of Mega Random, except that you actually have the stable and that you could really surprise your opponent over here. Other than that, if you look at the minimap, there's tons of resources. So everywhere there's these two-tile goals, stone everywhere. So tons and tons of resources that you can expand to if you desire. And yeah, let's see what the players will go for. This is a standard start, of course. I hope they're not too rusty from their nomad starts. Gummibär now thinking about taking this boar. He does not have loom, but he in the definitive edition you only need to hit the boar once with the villager, so it's generally, and you have less lag, so generally much safer to lure without loom. Nice blocking there with the cow, but this is dangerous. Oh. Okay, but Gummibär is fine, losing a lot of HP on his villagers, but overall he is fine. On the other side, we have Vasall. Vasall not taking the boar yet. He has a lot of cows here. He is happily mooing away, getting the cows. Gummibär now being housed, and that will give Vasall the opportunity to would have given him the opportunity to boom ahead, but he just really needs to consistently create villagers if he wants to succeed in this game. Now we see a mill on the hunt over here, which is decent, that's a good idea, and then he can place a second mill on the berries. Berries, I think it would be a little bit more safe because it's further in the back, and you can usually wall in your villagers one way or another, but since the players are also on opposite sides, separated by this giant volcano in the center, I don't think it's too bad in any case. Now Vasall bringing in this boar. Is he bringing in the boar? Okay, and he does have loom, so overall that's pretty good. One thing to note here is that Vasall actually has 8 wood on this villager, and if he retasks him to food, I think he will lose all of this wood. Yeah, exactly, that's what happened. And so make sure to drop off your resources before you task your villagers to get a different resource. Now we see some wall-offs here by Vasall, maybe a little bit early, but overall I like this decision. It's easy to wall to decide, and then there's one thing less you have to worry about. Of course, you're still open in the front, but it's always good to reduce the angles of attack. And yeah, the Dark Age scout cannot really fight this. Now, God laming the houses is Gummibär. And I think Vasall is panicking. Vasall does not realize, oh god, this house might be destroyed. Oh man, Vasall, Vasall! Oh, he's walling in the scout inferior! Oh, God! Oh, Vasall going for the cube place, but that's not gonna work. That is not gonna work against Gummy Bear, and he loses a lot of like APM actions per minute, and also a lot of wood. He actually lost 2 houses in terms of wood, so that was not really good. But overall, look at the score, very even. Vasall even ahead. Um, so if we compare those two civilizations, I think the Aztec are the clear favorite. They usually thought of as the better civilization. However, it can be tricky against the Incas because the Incas actually have access to the slinger unit. So if Aztecs go for some kind of infantry, slingers can counter that. Aztecs or Incas also have good archers. Overall, as you can see here. And they actually get an additional, they just have good archers, and skirmishes with no minimum range is a not very important upgrade. I think in terms of Eagle Warriors, the Aztec ones are a little bit better. With their unique tech, they get +4 attack, whereas the Incan Eagle Warriors get additional armor, but that does not compensate for the extra attack that the Eagle Warriors of the Aztecs get. So I think I favor the Aztecs a little bit. Also, Aztecs have better bonuses. Their military units are created faster, for instance. So I think overall I favor them. But let's see how this plays out. Now both players are on the way to the next stage, and I think both players could go for some kind of I don't know if it's a fast castle is really in the books over here. Gumiber really needs to make sure he takes this hunt and drops maybe a couple more farms, and then he could definitely think about going to the next stage. Now, one interesting question that we don't know is if the stable actually counts to the feudal age buildings. That would be interesting to know. Because you need 2 feudal age buildings to advance, and the stable could be one, but since those civilizations don't have it, I am not sure if this is actually the case. Now we see big walls here from Vasall, which is okay. It's good to be walled off so you don't get surprised, but make sure you don't create any holes, don't over chop anywhere, and make sure that your walls also make sense and are sound in that regard. Both players now about to hit or have already hit the next age, and let's look at what the players are doing. Gumiber just going for the economy approach. He's queuing up a couple of villagers. He's going for double pickaxe. I think the winning strategy in this regard might have actually been some kind of fast castle into surprise Xolotl warriors, because your opponent will never think about that. But I think we won't see that in this game. That's a pity. This is one of the rare instances where you could actually see this game, because of course those civilizations cannot build stables. But alas, I think we're not going to see that. Now, one thing that Vasall did not do is take all of these deer, and that's something that maybe these villagers, once they're finished with the berries, they could actually work on the deer. Now we see a market coming up, strengthening the wall, so that's always a good idea. If you have these weak palisade walls, just drop a market behind that and you're good to go. Now Vasall is really, sometimes he's a little bit late in shifting to the required resources, so you see that he is not on gold yet, and definitely by this point you want to be on gold, because either you want to go for archers to build some military, which costs gold, or you want to build towards the castle age, which also costs gold. And so he really finally realizes that, and he also has this extra wood line in the back, which I like very much, because archers are likely going to come in, and then the archers can range this wood line and deny the wood income for Vasall. And Vasall really needs a mining camp here. This is really something he should be getting at some point. Now, as I said, archers are coming forward, and Gumiber is getting housed in this game quite a lot, and that lets Vasall actually keep up with him in village production. Even though Vasall likes to idle his town center, he really can't keep up with this. He is also still producing, and he might also go for a castle age soon. And then I think these couple of archers, I mean, you see how long it takes for them to travel across the map. And by that time, Vasall almost has enough resources to go up to the next age. So, and it's only 2 archers. They probably don't even have fletching yet. No, they don't have fletching, so they're not going to be too consequential in this point. In this regard, also since Vasall has the safe back wood line, so overall not a bad position here for Vasall overall. But he must make sure that he does not overchop. And there it is. There is the hole, and now the archers can just go in. Yes, that's the problem with walling. You've built up your nice base, even stone walls, but then you just have this hole in the front. And you see, without fletching, archers really have a terrible range, and they're not too scary. Overall, they're not too scary. But Gummy Bear also about to click up, and now Vasall will find out that there is actually a hole in his base, and maybe he will find it out. If Gummy Bear does not think that this is closed off for some reason. Let's look at the resources of Vasall. If we, oh god, look at this. This is a terrible move. This is a panic move. I mean, yes, he is on the way to the castle age, which I quite like. But you have all of these walls. You just need to plug this one little hole, and all of these giant stone walls can just be denied by the archers. But luckily for Vasall, Gummy Bear is not deciding to go in, because of course he also does not see the hole that is over here. I'm pretty sure this hole. Yes, we saw that there was a tree. It's being overchopped, and it looks like Vasall is able to get his nice arena base. He's now going for double barracks, so he is thinking about Eagle Warriors, but I'm not sure. He is basically on a timer, because at some point he needs to break out of this little enclosure. But Eagle Warrior is actually very good against the archers. But what would be even better against the archers is the Xolotl Warrior. Gummy Bear not yet up to the next age, surprisingly, and this gives Vasall a good window of opportunity, I would say, because now he can already get the Eagle Scouts and Eagle Warriors, get all the upgrades, and they just clean up the armies. However, one thing he likes to do, which is kind of a mistake, maybe make some military first before you get all the upgrades, because then they're already out, you can already move them towards your enemy, do something with them, and then the upgrades come in. Also, now he's walling in his own stable. Vasall, this is unnecessary. You're just wasting all of this good stone over here. It's completely unnecessary. It doesn't do you anything. If your opponent will break in, he will break in anyways. And the only spot you would need to plug is right over here. And look at this. There's always a hole. There's always a hole. Now, please drop a house over here and over here so that the archers have to run into your TC. And now, yeah, he just looks stupid. That's what this is. Yeah, he thinks about the house, so that's very good. So the archers really need to, oh, okay, Gummy Bear losing a lot of archers there. Really, he should not overcommit here. I mean, he should look at the situation of his opponent and be like, okay, this is nothing. And look at this, Vasall. Yeah, he has these 2 barracks, but he's only barely getting out any Eagle Warriors. Now Vasall needs to make sure that he does not lose any more villagers. He is only 4 villagers behind, surprisingly. So if he cleans up this mass of archers before they become crossbowmen, which luckily they cannot become yet. And also he needs blacksmith and maybe the defense upgrade. I think that would really help. Even though they have 3 pierce armor, with fletching those archers can actually do a little bit of damage. I think timing is the key here. Vasall, basically, as soon as he sees that the Gummy Bear is in the next age, he has about 10 seconds before he needs to engage, because then those archers become crossbowmen, and then they're much more difficult to deal with. But I think that Vasall will not realize this. He will just wait before he has a big mass. But it's also good, because even if they become crossbowmen, as long as they don't do anything, as long as they stay in their corner, they're not too scary, and then Vasall can just get the upgrades, get +1 defense, +1 attack. I think +2 defense would be the priority here, as the crossbowmen surely will get Botkin arrow, and then they're much more scary. Now Eagle Warrior, 7 attack, 4 pierce armor, so this is decent against the 7 attack, so 3 damage per hit, and this can be even further reduced by 1. Now Gummi Bear Grun getting housed, but he is really on the offensive. He is just pumping out the archers, and I'm really disappointed that he does not think about the Charlotte Warriors. Now we also see a forward siege workshop, and now these walls will look even more stupid, and I think that Vasall might not be able to engage. Now he is able to engage here. I think he will take a good engagement. And then he might be able to clean up the archer mass here from Gummi Bear. So nice game plan by Vasall. He knew that, okay, against archers he's just gonna make the Eagle Warriors, and at this point he could even think about deleting some of the wall pieces, which would of course be absolutely hilarious, because he spent so much time and resources and villager working time on creating those walls, and then he just gets rid of them anyways. But look at this, Vasall pushing back Gummi Bear, and Gummi Bear has nothing against the Eagle Warriors. We have 10 Eagle Warriors out against 12 crossbowmen, but I would definitely favor the Eagle Warriors there. I hope that Vasall is able to get the defense upgrade, and indeed he is, and with the defense upgrade I think these Eagle Warriors are super scary. Vasall just needs to make sure that he still creates more of them, that he does not let go, does not take his foot off the gas, but now he's switching to Spearman in a Mesoamerican matchup. What are the Spearmen gonna do? Nothing. They're not gonna do anything. Yes, I mean, if you want to dump your wood and food, then why not just create skirmishes? They cost the same thing, and why not patrol your units? You could just pick off all of these stray crossbowmen, Vasall. Yes, you want to go for the raids, but why not just kill these crossbowmen first? Why not weaken the army of your opponent substantially? But now Gummi Bear has had enough time to really regroup them and focus a little bit more. Still, Eagle Warrior is very good against the archers, but overall this could have been much nicer for Vasall. And yeah, now Spearmen, like the Spearmen, look at this. 5 attack, 45 HP, 0 armor basic, 0 base armor at least, and yeah, so they're not going to do anything. It's like look at how the Eagles go to town. They really are worth the investment. Although now Gummi Bear switching to the militia, and the militia or men-at-arms will finally be able to deal with the Eagle Warriors. But remember, Eagles already are fully upgraded, so against unupgraded men-at-arms, they're really strong. And so one thing that Vasall should have done instead of going forward is finish this off first. Maybe get rid of your opponent's push first, before you prepare anything else. And now he has all of these useless spearmen. No Charlotte Warriors coming in anyway, so you don't need the spearmen. Now losing the market. And all of this creation time, like 13 spearmen, that could have been 13 of the Eagle Warriors, and then this would be a whole different story. Overall, I think Vasall has a good game plan in this overall, but he still just makes these mistakes which just don't make any sense. Like the spearmen, what is this? Like these two long swordsmen could almost kill the entire army of this, or like 2 scorpions and the spearmen do nothing. Yes, I mean it's better than having 0 military, but overall you should use the creation time to just focus on the Eagle Warriors. That's basically what's keeping you in this game at the moment. Now we see some sneaky barracks coming into the front, but I think again this is just too cute of a move, because the economy of Vasall is really weak. He cannot really afford to build from triple barracks in the front while he is defending at home. I don't think that's gonna work. And he really needs to think about clearing off the siege workshop, because this is always a danger. Like one mangonel and a couple of units here can really pressure this town center of Vasall. Also, Vasall needs to think about expanding at some point. Now, I think Gummi Bear is a little bit flustered. I mean, yes, he still has the advantage. He has way more villagers, and he should be in the driver's seat, but he doesn't know what to do. I mean, he's Aztecs. What do the Aztecs do? And the answer would be right here. But alas, I think, of course, in this situation now you maybe don't want to be doing that anymore because there's a lot of spearmen and Eagle Warriors out there. Eagle Warriors also have small bonus damage against cavalry, so overall maybe not the best idea to go for cavalry at this stage, but it would be so cool. It would definitely give him some style points. Okay, now we have some Eagle Warriors and Siege Workshop coming down. I actually love the ballsiness of Vasall, like just going for this aggression, and yeah, Gummibär just trickling in these units. They're not gonna do much. However, the problem is he is now massing a lot of units over here, and he is just moving across. So what Vasall really needs is a mangonel in defense, or he can just defend by closing the walls. But remember, the Siege Workshop is still there. So the issue is that he can just make more siege over here. Although now the Spearmen will focus on that. Oh, but the Eagle Warriors have found that, and they can at least take out the archers, which would be very good. But there's so many longswordsmen, and all the eagles are just getting cleaned up. So overall, not a very good fight for Vasall. This is going to be scary. He needs something in defense. He needs a mangonel in defense so that he's not getting pushed while he is preparing his own push in the front with battering rams and Eagle Warriors. Which could actually be pretty scary for Gummibär. I mean, he's not expecting this. He's like, okay, I have this game. I just need to finish this. And I had hoped that Vasall would hit the Siege Workshop a little bit more, because then those rams would have had to eject automatically. But yeah, I don't really see anything. Like, Vasall has nothing in his base left anymore. And even if his push in the front is successful, I don't think he can stem this push of Gummibär in the front. These two rams are basically enough to just push in, and then these units, I mean, it's just a couple crossbowmen and longswordsmen, but there's nothing in defense here. And I think that Vasall will be now very, very focused on the front. And I really appreciate this move. Look at this. Vasall is basically able to pressure Gummibär in such a way that he has to put down some panic walls in behind. And I don't even think those will be enough in the end. But at the same time, he still is not able to really properly defend. He's also not reacting. I mean, how can you not see this? These longswordsmen are just underneath your town center. This has been coming the entire time. Just garrison your villages. Shoot down all these longswordsmen and you're fine. And you're fine, but yeah, you're just losing everything. It's basically just AI movements over here. Now the Eagle Warriors are getting slaughtered. Imagine if he had garrisoned. He could have just killed these, and then he could have killed this. But now Vasall is dead. And that's what I mean. It's like Vasall, he sometimes has these cute moves, but he's focusing on the wrong things. Like, you're not gonna win this in 1 minute by attacking your opponent's economy. You also need to defend at home, and yeah, I don't know what he's doing now. He's garrisoning these villagers, but not these villagers. And now he cannot garrison even more. He doesn't even have a town center at this point. And yeah, this castle will actually go up, but at what cost at this point? I really like the aggression in the front, but it's just not enough. And also these rams, they need to focus on the town center. And yeah, I think now Gummibär has this in the bag, because Vasall did not react in a crucial moment. Remember, imagine if he had reacted here, he could have cleaned up this easily, and then he could have cleaned up the Siege Workshop. He would have been fine, and then he would have been here in the front, attacking the economy of Gummibär, doing a lot of damage, actually pushing in with the rams, killing a town center, or almost killing a town center at this point. But now he's not doing any of that. He's just losing his own town center, all of his economy. We are now at 73 villages to 39, and that's basically where Vasall sometimes, like, the decision making in these situations, like what to focus on. It's always good to at some point check back to your economy. I know you're like super hyped. You have this aggression prepared on the side. You're gonna be super effective, but at some point you just need to look back at your economy. And here, even just ungarrison your villages, kill the rams, and then you can garrison again, which he is not doing. He just cannot focus on all of this, but then you will just lose the game. He could even kill these longswordsmen. Look at them, they have only a few HP left. But at this point, I think he's just trying to get as much damage done in the front until, and then he will resign, because there's nothing there anymore, and he's not even defending himself. That's the issue with Vasall. He's not defending. And he had a clear shot to win this game. I say it here, Vasall could have easily won this game, but now he has lost everything. Yes, basically he has nothing anymore. He has a lot of surprising amount of food, but yeah, he has 32 villages, and yeah, and I think the game is over. GG. Always a hole. Yeah, the walls, like I said, questionable move in the end. It didn't even matter. He had the right game plan, but he just wasn't able to execute. But he's getting there. He's getting better and scarier. It's not like, oh, I play against Vasall, it's an automatic win. No. Vasall actually putting up a very good fight. So impressive. I have to commend Vasall. Very good job. Look at this. Here. Actually, very good time for Vasall. Look at this. Gummibär losing all of his military. Vasall building up more military. But the problem was most of that was spearmen. So that already was kind of like killing the momentum of Vasall. And then he had more chances back here, but then in the end, he just wasn't able to defend. And yeah, by that, he lost in the end. So this was the series between Gummibär Grün and Vasall, with a win for Gummibär Grün, but we saw some nice action from Vasall. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope to see you in the next cast.